How can Bitcoin help reform return citizens?
Well, I'm one of them. So the one way that they can help from experience is that it opens your mind up to understanding, like, a lot. Um, what money is not, like I say in our workshops at the prisons, how committing crime for money is totally backwards. How you lose, not only do you lose time in
Mhm.
your life, but you lose the value of the money. Um, and that is very decentralized. That there is nobody to stop you from using it. You don't have to have a certain amount of money. You don't have to have a certain amount of a credit score. You don't have to be an accredited investor. You can just hop right in. So how easily accessible it is, and the fact that there's no one there to oppress you in Bitcoin. It's clear freedom. If you're willing to do the research, you'll see that it's clear freedom in Bitcoin.
Welcome to Ask a Bitcoiner 21 Questions. I'm your host, Saida Gomez. Today, I am honored to ask Justin Rhedrick, author of From Bars to Bitcoin 21 Questions. Justin, how are you today?
I'm doing good, doing good. How are you?
I'm doing good. It's really nice to finally record because it took us a while to get things organized and to actually chat with you a bit before the session to get to know you a bit better.
Been great, been great. We finally got it here. We finally here. So I'm excited to be here. I've viewed a lot of your videos, and it's a very different way, and I appreciate it. It's very cool. I like it. So I'm here for it.
Thank you. Thank you. Would you like to introduce yourself to the audience before we start?
Yeah, so I am Justin Rhedrick. On Twitter, or X as they call it. I go by Bitcoin Vegan. As you heard, I'm the author of From Bars to Bitcoin, and I'm also the executive director of the Bitcoin Transformation Community.
Well done.
This is our we're working on our nonprofit seal, but we're a nonprofit here in America, and we aim to we aim to make sure that we can get as many people in out of incarceration to Bitcoin, and also help them get jobs into space. So one of our slogans is "We're freeing humanity one Satoshi at a time."
Very nice. Very nice. And we're all Satoshi, so that's
Yeah,
that's
yeah, we are. We are.
Okay, so on Ask a Bitcoiner 21 questions, the goal is to get through 21 questions in 10 minutes. Some
Uh,
people do it. One person did it. Some people want to do it, but then feel very passionate about a question or the answer that they want to give. So it's entirely up to you how you want to play it.
we're gonna go for it. We're gonna go for the 10 minutes. If it goes over,
Okay,
it just happens. But we're gonna go for it.
we'll go for 10 minutes. I've got the timer here. I'll read the
Okay.
first question. And so the other thing too is that I asked the questions in a random order. So I made a mistake. I sent you 20 questions instead of 21. But the one question is the bonus question that you wouldn't have seen anyways. So I think it's all good.
Okay, that's cool. Let's run them.
Okay. Do you have any questions for me before we start?
Nah,
No?
nah, not right now. Not right now.
Okay. So I'll read the first question, then hit start. Okay, good. Ready?
Yeah.
First question. What is the Bitcoin transformation community?
Oh, wow. Okay. So the Bitcoin Transformation Community is a nonprofit organization founded in America. We're out of Las Vegas, Nevada. Um, we have our cornerstone initiative that is the the From Bars to Bitcoin project, where we go inside different prisons and institutions and teach about Bitcoin. Our vision is we envision a world of equity for all realized by the power of Bitcoin, and our mission is to aim and promote Bitcoin education, financial empowerment, and inclusivity through Bitcoin. So try to keep it at 10, but there we go. A little bit. You can check us out at btctc.org.
Next question. Do you think you would have found Bitcoin had you not gone to prison?
Oh, man. Yes, I do.
Ah,
I've always been somebody to think extremely outside the box. I've always been someone who wanted to like be on the cutting edge of what's going on, whether I knew how to find it or not. So I think I would have found Bitcoin had I not gone to prison. But going to prison definitely allowed me to be very receptive to Bitcoin in the very beginning.
describe your local meetup in Charlotte. What type of things can people learn?
So, Jared from Compass asked me the same question somewhat. The Charlotte Bitcoin or Bitcoin Charlotte. I'm not the most, I'm not the most. I don't attend most of the meetings, but what I do know is because I'm in the group chat, they do a lot of teaching on some of the technicals, BTC pay servers, Lightning, how to set
Oh,
those up,
good.
running nodes. They really get in. They really have workshops to get into the weeds of understanding
Yep.
some of the technicals, and um, they also have a good time. They've even set up, I think, several Lightning payments at some of their breweries around town. So you learn a lot about in my opinion, you learn about the history, you learn about what's currently going on, and you'll learn how to implement some of the
Hmm.
applications that Bitcoin has into your own life or business.
So it's practical.
Yes, ma'am. Shout out to Bitcoin Charlotte.
How long did it take you to write your book?
Let's see. It probably took me maybe less than a year, maybe less than 6 months. I was writing my book while door dashing during COVID. So I would just record myself speaking in order on my phone, transcribe it, put it on the Google Doc. It didn't take me too long. I'll probably say a good 6 to 12 months to be safe, but I think it took less than that. But actually it took me
What
15 years, because it covers 15 years of my life. So technically about 15 years, but rationally about 6 to 12 months.
Mhm. What's one piece of advice you'd give to your younger self?
So younger me, what age we talking about?
10.
Oh, 10? Wow.
Random.
At 10 years old, I would tell myself just to be on the lookout for Bitcoin. And when you go to college, use your refund check to buy some Bitcoin.
Nice.
That's all I'm going to say. Use your refund check to buy Bitcoin.
As a vegan, how do you get your B vitamins? This is a very selfish question. I want to know how this works.
I take supplements, really, you know what's crazy? The only vitamin deficiency they said I have is like B12. So
Hmm.
I go to like the local supplement store and they have vitamin B12 spray. Um, and if I'm gonna be completely honest, I don't even really track like the vitamins I'm getting. I just eat. I try to eat pretty clean, and when I do go to the doctor, my doctor happens to be vegan too, so she just tells me the supplements I should get. And so, I mean, I eat pretty clean, kale, vegetables. Sometimes I eat faux meat, but outside of that, the only vitamin deficiency I've ever been told I had was vitamin B12. So I just buy the vitamin B12 spray and spray it on my tongue when I go out before I go out.
Mm. How can Bitcoin help reform returned citizens?
Well, I'm one of them. So the one way that they can help from experience is that it opens your mind up to understanding, like, a lot. Um, what money is not, how like I say in our workshops at the prisons, how committing crime for money is totally backwards. How you lose, not only do you lose time
Mm-hmm.
in your life, but you lose the value of the money. And that is very decentralized, that there is nobody to stop you from using it. You don't have to have a certain amount of money. You don't have to have a certain amount of a credit score. You don't have to be an accredited investor. You can just hop right in. So how easily accessible it is, and the fact that there's no one there to to oppress you in Bitcoin. It's clear freedom. If you're willing to do the research, you'll see that it's clear freedom in Bitcoin.
Yep, 100. This is the bonus question.
Okay.
Who is the greatest basketball player of all time?
Kobe Bryant.
Oh.
Yeah, Kobe. Kobe,
If we go
easy.
over 10 minutes, I'll double back on this one.
All right. That's cool.
How do you find the inner strength to recover from immense tragedy?
Boxing. Um,
Mm.
Sometimes running, like running distances. I've had coaching and therapy before. Just analyzing and just realizing that sometimes shit happens and you can't just stay in the middle. You can't stay in the thick of it. You got to keep moving forward. Otherwise, you'll grow. It's like you'll grow mold and
Mm-hmm.
like negativity just keep weighing down on you, and then you'll be in a deeper funk than you are. So yeah, just finding ways to release the stress, some of the stress that this tragedy has given you.
Yeah. Can you explain why anyone can access Bitcoin, irrespective of race, gender, ethnicity, nationality, etc.?
Um, well, let's look at what's taking place in Kenya. My guy KG, he has this app, and I totally mess up the name.
Machinkura in South Africa.
Yeah, Matching Curl. Yeah, South Africa.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Well, he has people all over the continent. My bad.
Yeah.
Matching
Yeah.
Curl.
Yeah.
But um, that's a great example. Instead they have no internet reception. However, this genius finds a way to bring it through the cell phone and WhatsApp. Um, that's one way. You have the again, just how to buy it. You could have cash and go to an ATM, buy some Bitcoin. If you're in America, you can use Cash App. You can use Cash App. It's just it does not take a lot for someone to use it. That I'm aware of in America. It doesn't take a lot for someone to use it. There's ATMs all over the place.
Yep.
You don't necessarily have to sign up. And more importantly, the biggest aspect is that it's peer to peer. So if you have
Mm-hmm.
nothing, no technology, no access to that, but you have cash and you can find a way to find a Bitcoiner who's willing to sell you some sats, that'll probably be for a premium, of course. There you go. Like
Yep.
there's all the bases. There's no hidden door. There's nothing keeping you away from doing what I feel is the most important thing, which is actually getting the actual satoshis. There's nothing that's gonna stop you from doing that.
Yep. Does your mother embrace Bitcoin?
Oh yeah, yeah. My whole family embraces it. My children, my fiance, my mom. It took them a while, but they're getting on. They're getting on the train once they start really seeing how the money does not.
Uh, that's time.
No, how many questions we get through?
You did really well, actually. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Okay, all right, we
That's
got
pretty
10 more.
good. Yeah,
That's
pretty good,
good.
pretty good.
All right. Well, yeah, they she's embracing it. She's embracing it. I just got her to understand, like, um, when you get off like Twitter or you don't when you get off all the early days of
Yeah.
just smashing, buying Bitcoin and all this other crazy shit that people make up, you start realizing that a lot of people are giving you quote unquote advice, but you're over leveraging. But when you realize you got income coming in any type of way, that
Mm-hmm.
you always have an opportunity just to save some of that income in Bitcoin. Like,
Yep.
I remember I used to be like, oh my God, I don't have $500 in my whole Bitcoin. That doesn't mean you can't buy some sats.
Yep.
So, and stacking sats to me is greater than just hodling. Because you should always have an opportunity to stack sats. Long you go
Yeah.
cut grass, do whatever. You always have an opportunity to stack sats. Um, so once I was able to change my mindset around not having funds to buy Bitcoin at the dip and not listening to every talking head on Twitter, then I started really realizing that you don't need to be on Twitter to buy Bitcoin. You don't even need to
Oh,
be
most definitely.
Bitcoin famous. Just go buy it, you
Eh,
know?
oh, exactly. I mean, people don't even have to know you exist. Like, you could have no online presence whatsoever and be stacking and very happy.
So yeah, so she's coming around to it.
Very nice. We went over the 10 minutes, doubling back to the GOAT. I didn't
Yeah.
list criteria, so I'm very curious. Why do you rank Kobe Bryant as the GOAT?
Well, overall, people, it's hard to overlook Michael Jordan. But I've been a Kobe fan. I'm a Laker fan at heart. I've been a Kobe fan my whole
Mm,
life. But Kobe's approach to the game was totally different from the get go. He came out as a rookie and attacked Michael Jordan. He's in my mind, he's the only real player who ever got the respect from Mike. But
mm,
um, his just relentless pursuit is what did it for me. Most players, how they view Kobe is just like he is that guy. He he embodied the process. He took the big shots. He lost and came back. If I was a GM, I'm building my team around Kobe Bryant, not LeBron or Michael.
So, I too am very biased because I believe Michael Jordan's the GOAT. I
Yeah.
consulted ChatGPT beforehand so I could get some more, like, I guess, objective results.
Hmm.
And ChatGPT ranks Michael Jordan as the GOAT
Okay.
based on numbers,
Yeah.
accolades: 6-time NBA champion, 5-time MVP, 14-time All Star, 10-time scoring champion. Kobe Bryant is actually listed number 4 under other contenders. So number 2 is LeBron James, and this is just based on numbers. 3,
Hmm.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and then other contenders include 1, Magic Johnson, 2, Larry Bird, and 3, Kobe Bryant. Because he's known exactly what you said for his work ethic, scoring ability, and mentality, often compared to Jordan.
Yeah. I don't mind hearing people say they got Michael Jordan number one. It's hard. It's hard to argue. You know what I mean? Like Jordan, you can call Jordan the GOAT, but Kobe is his own animal. He's a mamba.
Yeah.
He's his
Ah,
own
okay,
animal.
that I can respect. Yeah. Yeah,
He's
yeah.
his own animal. Like, but I
He's his
mean,
own Mamba. Yeah.
I I'm a rock with Kobe. If I knowing what I know and seeing how it is, I think I would still take Kobe over Michael Jordan. And I'm a rings guy. Like I love the fact he's 6-0 in the finals. He's done things. He changed the game of basketball, which
Hmm.
all of that type of stuff, his impact on the game of basketball truly makes him a GOAT. But when it comes down to on the court,
Hmm.
I'm taking Kobe Bryant. I'm
Hmm.
just gonna take Kobe. And we're gonna live like Kobe. We're gonna live and die with the decision we make. But we're gonna take Kobe.
Yeah. in like in a parallel universe, it would be cool to see a Kobe Bryant and a Jordan come up at the same time under the same conditions to see
Mhm.
how things would play out.
Then, and at that point in time, somebody will separate. The
Hmm.
separation will take place. They'll go at it, but someone would then, you just don't know who that someone would be.
Yeah.
That separation will come.
Yeah, but it's a question I love to ask because I'm passionate. I'm super biased. So,
It's all
okay.
good.
So this is changing things up a lot. How did you end up behind bars?
I how did I end up in prison? A collection of things. I feel. Um, like we foreclosed our house. We lost our house to foreclosure.
Hmm.
I just had a lot. Like I had a lot of unfortunate things take place between like losing a home, losing a friend of mine to murder that I
Hmm.
was there to witness. Not really understanding like just life in general, trying to get a quick buck, chasing fiat, chasing fiat leads you to damn prison. But all of that type of
Yeah.
stuff, and not hearing about Bitcoin in 2009 when I was in college. But I ultimately committed a crime that's considered like a breaking a home invasion, like a breaking and entering, and that crime going. I'm not gonna say it went incorrect. I'm actually say it went the correct way. Because had I gotten away with it, I don't know where I would be. So how things had turned out, on top of all that other stuff, and making a decision in desperation, not really having a wide viewpoint of life, which caused me to make a decision to commit an action that led me to go to prison.
And now things have changed.
Yeah, changed a lot.
Yeah. Um, Back to basketball. Random questions. So you played basketball. Which
Yeah,
position did you play?
I played small forward, power forward,
Oh yeah.
and sometimes I played the center. I was very undersized for the center and power forward, but when I was growing up, that's the position I played.
Hmm. I played a number two guard. I was a shooting guard.
Oh, oh yeah.
Um, yeah.
I didn't know
My
you played
fingers are
ball.
like jacked up. I actually Riverside kind of like makes things look better than they actually are because my finger
Hmm.
looks not so broken, but
Oh, you broke your
that's why
hand,
I'm
you
very
broke your finger.
passionate about the goat. Like it's
I got you. I had a feeling you played ball. I had a feeling. Like no, you just people. Some people like Michael Jordan, but then when you're ready to defend, and then you had like ChatGPT. I'm like, oh, when I told you, when I told you I'm taking Kobe of everybody, you were like, oh wow, like yeah, I
because I'm very
remember.
passionate about it and I know that my emotions cloud my judgment. So I'm like, I need numbers. So let me just get the breakdown to see if I'm like,
Like you're not
too
tripping. He got the
passionate.
number. He earns it. He earned it. So is LeBron. Like LeBron has earned a right from to be in the conversation. I'm just not
Yeah.
putting him above Kobe.
Mm.
But I get it.
The thing too is that like in the 90s, um I feel as though the refs were a little more, they respected the rules a bit more. They actually called traveling, they called certain things. And then as the commercial fiat aspect of the game evolved, they stopped calling things. So for
Mhm.
me, I'm like, well, sure, if I could take 10 steps, maybe, well, I would never be able to do that. Let's be clear.
Right.
But you see what I mean? Like, it's
Hmm.
the mindset is different when you know that the ref is not going to call certain things. You're going to do things that you wouldn't do when you know that you're going to be called on it, you know?
Right. Yeah. No, yeah. You just gonna get away with it.
Yeah,
I watched the
exactly.
clip last night. I think Russell Westbrook was holding the ball like this, just walking down, like, yeah, like, clear walk. But it's, like you say, it's commercialized. The only true basketball you see nowadays that's on that level is probably WNBA. Because they get
Oh,
hit.
for real? Not even NCAA?
Not men's.
No.
No, not men's. They don't really play hard like they used to no more.
Yep. Okay. How did your experience shape your relationship with your mother? I saw her featured in a video, which I thought was very beautiful. So I'd like to know how everything shaped your relationship.
Sometimes it damaged it. In some ways it repaired it. Just it like I really realized when I was in prison that a lot of people don't have the support of their mom or their family in
Hmm.
general. And it took me a while to, like, as you grow up, you start understanding how things happen. Um, I used to blame my mom, but then I just stopped because it's like, whether you have limited insight or not, that's no one's fault that you have a limited insight. It's no one's fault that you did not know to go do research. It's no one's fault that you didn't try harder. So at first it was kind of rocky, but as I got older, I just started understanding, it's still your responsibility, and that that does, like, just because you were going through something, that doesn't mean she wasn't going through something, and
Yeah.
that she wasn't doing the best that she could.
Hmm.
So you just end up saying, hey, we're just gonna roll with it what it is and move forward and make the best use out of the time we have left on this earth. Because you don't get a lot of it.
Yep. And how long were you in prison in total?
40 months, 3 years and 4 months. I was locked up from 21 years old to 24.
So still, I'm not trying to minimize it, but still relatively young, where
Mhm.
you have, yeah, yep.
Yeah, I was young. Like, I was young enough to be stupid. I did a short amount of time to learn from it and come home and make the best use of it. 3 years, it is a long time. Like, it's not as long as some people. God, I've met people who've been locked up for 50 years.
Five
But
zero?
5-0, it's bad too. Like, you really don't. Like, I remember before I went to prison that Yahoo was the main search engine. There was
Yeah,
multiple different, like, cell phone providers. There was, like, only probably Facebook, maybe MySpace. I come home, it's only Samsung, it's only Android and Apple. Everything is off of Google now. You got Instagram, Snapchat, you have all these social media platforms, and social media just took over the damn world. And
yep,
people used to have their own individual, like, language and slang amongst, like, where they, like, in my part in Charlotte, even if you lived on the west side, somebody lived on the east or the north side, they all talk differently. But now, I'm like, damn, everybody talks the same. Everybody dresses the same. Everybody poses the same. It's just like
mm-hmm,
a lot of conforming had taken place in those 3 years that I luckily didn't get attached to, So, but yeah, 3 years and 4 months.
So today, how does hope look to you? What does hope look like?
Hope is, hope is, shit. Hope is waking up in the morning, just waking up, knowing that you got an opportunity. Hope is when you're providing hope to other people, like what we do with the
Mm-hmm.
Bitcoin transformation community. You gotta provide hope. What I mean, you gotta share hope to other people, and then other people will give you hope. What I mean, like, it's a. I'm not saying it's transactional, but it is. Like,
Mm-hmm. It's energy. Yep.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You just don't have to hope for yourself. You can show hope to other people. And then people, some other person can show you some hope, no matter what it is. So, like with our nonprofit, at first it was just going inside prisons and teaching and educating about Bitcoin and connecting people with jobs. That was our first phase. And we were awarded a grant from Block to do that. So now, what we want to do now is actually, when they get out, or they can get training, provide more hope. We have a partner called LFG Mining. The CEO is Jose De Hoyos, and he's
Hmm.
able to provide like minor repair training,
Oh,
general bore
wow.
technician training. So yeah, he has a whole curriculum. Him and Logan and April, they have a whole curriculum, and they needed people to fulfill the curriculum. And I was like, well, hell, I'm gonna go inside prison. I know these folks don't have no jobs coming out, so shit. Here's some perfect people to funnel into your curriculum, and it provides hope. People, I've gone inside prisons, and people like, bro, so you telling me I could probably get a job? Yeah, because I've taught Bitcoin to a lot of people over the years in different economic conditions. And the one thing they would say is like, well, Bitcoin is cool. I like what I learned, but I don't have a job. So time to
Oh,
buy some
yeah.
cash.
Yep.
And it's just like I say, telling people online all this shit about Bitcoin is cool, but it's not really doing much.
Yeah. How's it operationalized? Like, how does it play out in everyday life? Yep.
Yeah, so like we could talk shit on Twitter all day, but it's not moving over. Like it's not gonna really move the needle. How many people on Twitter? How many people in the world? Like it's not really moving much.
Yeah, that's true.
You got
But
so
it also
sometimes you gotta do
depends.
more.
Yeah. I know that what really helped me. So I discovered Bitcoin in 2017. Like I started to actively learn about it. And for me, I always talk about Max Kaiser and Stacey Herbert because I would listen to their show, The Kaiser Report, on podcasts.
Hmm.
I like to listen to the news.
Hmm.
And I have to admit that their content helped me find other people who publish books and stuff like that. So it helped me personally, but I see exactly what you're saying in terms of how do you actually apply this to your real life. You're not going to learn it by talking about stuff on the internet. 100%.
I was introduced to Bitcoin by a person, and I started going down the rabbit hole, and I understand like that was one of the only mediums between Reddit, YouTube,
Yeah.
old school YouTube,
Yeah.
before all this goofy shit, just old school YouTubers who gave you the cut and dry info, and then some of how Twitter had gone. But once you start moving out, you start realizing like we're just a small percentage of the
Hmm.
world, and everything does start small. I'm not
Yeah.
going to disagree with that. But I started just thinking like we often say Bitcoin solves this, Bitcoin solves that, but a lot of times people are only talking about things that help make Bitcoin better. Then no one, I ain't gonna say no one, but it's not a lot of people who are actually showing the world that Bitcoin can solve problems they care about, like the
Hmm.
people in the real world outside of Bitcoin care about. We could talk about Taproot. We could talk about Schnorr signatures. We could talk about Lightning Layer One, motherfucking block size wars. We could talk about all of that, but all of that just makes Bitcoin better for the Bitcoiners. Yeah, it can make it
Oh,
better for
okay.
people
Yeah.
incoming into Bitcoin, but like, how are you going to actually go out to a whole community that probably number one thinks you a damn scam, number two don't know shit
Yeah,
about
that's true.
Satoshi, but then actually tell them, hey, this how Bitcoin gonna help. This how Bitcoin can help solve your problem. You know what I mean? Like now
Hmm.
you're showing the world that Bitcoin has real world use case outside of just some nerdy ass shit that folks just want to talk about on Twitter all day amongst their own little vacuum of people. You know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
don't nobody really know who the hell we are. Like,
That's
they
true.
hear about it, but the most talking head on Bitcoin now is Michael Saylor. Why? Because he got money. like, all right, cool, bet it is what it is.
But
But
that's like that's to me that's human nature. Like if we step outside of the realm of Bitcoin, Elon Musk can like tweet I farted and he's going to get like a million likes
yeah,
because he has a halo around him. I think we're attracted to halos. Michael Saylor, okay, sure. Of course he has money, he's a billionaire, but he also did something in the corporate sphere that was not popular at the time. Why he did it, there are many stories. I'm not here to debate that, but the point is that as a publicly traded company, MicroStrategy did something, is establishing a playbook or a blueprint, setting a model. And so I know for me, when I went to business school, there was no talk about Bitcoin whatsoever, outside of like the weirdos and the nerds and whatever. So
yeah,
to see a CEO, even though MicroStrategy is a small company in terms of market cap, well, actually, I haven't checked it recently, but the point is that someone did it, and so it's setting
yeah.
an example. So I see what you're saying, but humans also like to follow, for the most part, whoever is like, for
Whoever's the
lack of a
guy.
better word, whoever has the biggest penis. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
penis is measured by money today.
yeah.
I'm sorry. I always think
Okay,
about my daughter watching this, so I dial it back. I say penis
I hear
instead
you.
of what I would normally say.
Yeah, I got you. Nah, it's how it goes, and even within that though, like, just think about this. You mentioned business school, you mentioned corporate America,
Hmm.
finance, fintech, all that stuff. I don't know, but
Hmm.
now here's what I'm saying. How much of that makes up a percentage of the people who who are also in the world?
I
Like,
mean, it's
'cause there are people
dust.
sitting this, like, even in prison. There are people sitting in prison right now. You telling Michael Saylor who? What?
Yeah.
What is that? Like, what is that's a human? I didn't know who he was. I thought it was a cartoon. Just something crazy.
Yeah.
People hear of Elon because of Tesla, and he's a crazy person. You know what I'm saying? But there's this. I as Justin Rhedrick,
Yeah.
saw like there's another way to go
Yep.
about orange pilling people while solving problems that America and incarceration is an American problem that could just help change the playing field a bit.
And that's what makes you very unique, very special. That is your value proposition. You can reach audiences that I definitely can't reach, that Michael Saylor can't reach. And that is like I mean, I'm not trying to like, paint over your experience to say it was this wonderful thing, but you are in a position today that I think is very, I don't even want to say fortunate. I don't know what word to use, but you're in a position that few people are in, and I think you're doing amazing things with your position. So yeah, I mean, I yeah,
Thank you. Thank you.
that's true.
You can just call it what it is. The worst part is over with now. The worst part is over with. It's fortunate. It's fortunate.
You've
It's
got so
fortunate.
many opportunities. Yeah. Okay, what's something people would be surprised to know about you?
Oh boy. You gotta think of some things that's suitable for work to say. Um, I like to box. I don't know if that's surprising. Let me think. So all right, here's the thing. I read like over 60 books in the course of a year
Oh wow.
on topics like money, communication, business, marketing. Because I really couldn't afford. I didn't really have time to go back to school. I felt I couldn't afford consults and all of these things, so I would just buy books and read and read, and I would take the books and implement it. If it worked, we're using it. If it didn't work, we'll tinker it. I'm a very, well, not this year, but I was a very avid reader
Yeah.
coming out of prison. And I knew that reading books on things I did not know about, on topics I had little experience to no experience in, uh, will help me some type of way and down the line. I made a major investment in self-development to be able to do these types of things, to be able to think differently, go
Yeah.
outside the box. So, yeah, I think that works. I don't know if that's surprising. I don't even know what people consider surprising.
I know. Yeah. Well, about you, but with the internet, nothing is surprising. But 60
Yeah.
books in a year, I've never done that. So that is like. Okay, next question. Where are you from?
I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina, the southern
What?
region of the United States of America. For some of those who might be listening abroad. Well, this is abroad. You're in Switzerland, so yeah. United States, Charlotte, North Carolina, United States in the South.
In the South.
Souf, South.
South.
Yeah.
South. In the South. Okay, give me something like to say with a Southern accent. Or something typical to Charlotte.
What's going on with, how you say your name, Sadia?
Saida.
What's happening with you, Sadia? What's going on with you? How your day going? Doing all right over there?
I'm not even going to try to say it.
Just a little, just a little bit. I'm gonna head outside in a minute. Let me think one more. I don't even know. It just happens sometimes. We say the word bruh a lot in our
Bruh,
language.
yeah.
Bruh.
Everyone says bruh.
And that's something
Yeah.
else too. Like people were not saying bruh when I was growing up in different parts of the world. They'll say something else. Then all of a sudden, bruh just became the thing to say everywhere. Bruh, 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 bruh. What's good, bruh? What's happening with you, bruh? You in New York? What's up, bruh? When did y'all start saying bruh? So it's just a little different, but it always ends up being the same somewhere.
Yeah. Tell me more about boxing.
Well, it's a blood sport. You gotta better keep your hands up. But you gotta understand, like, no one really just is born good at boxing. Like I teach
Mm-hmm.
boxing to kids and some adults. I learned how to box in prison. There was this guy, he was teaching us how to box. It was a very grueling process. Most people who are in boxing, like regardless if they're like everyday professional fighters, amateurs, or just people who are in the gym, they're somewhat crazy to be there. Like
Oh, yeah.
you have to learn how to be calm while people are actively punching at you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and you gotta wake up. You gotta wake up to look forward to actually being in that type of environment. Um, you don't play boxing at all. You gotta be dedicated. And learning how to box in prison prepared me for the real world because you're just not gonna. There's no timeouts. You're not gonna be able to. There are no excuses in boxing. They're not allowing you
Yeah.
to give no excuses. So you got to figure it out, and take that lesson. Like there's no way around. You're gonna have to learn that lesson. Like I had to learn the lesson about buying so much Bitcoin. Well, what I thought was so much, but then not knowing how to save, like over leveraging. So then you got to sell it. You gotta clean up a lot of different things around you to be able to hold your sats. Then you gotta be able to hold your sats and not just Bitcoin turmoil, but your own personal turmoil, like not wanting to just retail therapy yourself and not just wanting to,
Mm-hmm.
buy some stuff because you got the money. You gotta be willing to sit down for years. Like I've know there's a lot of Bitcoiners who fucked up some Bitcoin, and I think fucking up Bitcoin is the prerequisite, is the requirement of hodling.
Yeah.
Like you understand, like boy, shit. I could sell this, but you know. And sometimes you want to give yourself some type of a relief, but not too much. Not too much.
Yeah,
You
the
gotta know how to.
balance.
You gotta measure out those sets. Like, all right, I've been holding this for 6 months. It's a couple of, whatever. Let me use $50. Like, that's really because you gotta play the sats game. And over time, like, I'm not the Bitcoiner that says, "Oh, hodl forever." Like, doesn't make any sense, especially
Yeah.
coming out of my predicament. But you're gonna have to go learn that lesson. You gotta learn. There's no other way around it. You're gonna have to learn the lesson. You're gonna have to get hit. You're not gonna.
Literally
You're
get
not.
hit.
Yeah. You're not gonna get around it. So it teaches you to really calm down. You gotta like take. I notice. Like I tell a lot of people, like I don't hear you breathing. If people don't know what not breathing does, like while people are throwing punches at you, you gotta take long, deep breaths because it's a science going on. And they call it the sweet science for a reason. Like if you're breathing and you're relaxed, you're allowing blood to move oxygen to your brain to allow you to know that you're all right while being punched at. So that allows you to take more risk. It allows you to be braver. It allows you to see and
Oh,
think clearer.
wow.
You can hear your corner. A lot of people, they just in, and I was like, boy, you can't hear nothing. Why? Because you're breathing so hard. There's nothing getting upstairs. So you just gotta teaches you to really be calm in a storm. Like if
So
you
do
was
you
asking
do
who the
like
greatest boxer of all time is, it's Floyd Mayweather.
ah I thought of the question, but I'm like, so not even Mike Tyson. I know nothing about boxing whatsoever. So why Mayweather over Tyson or Foreman or I don't know, anyone else?
Well, I mean, Mayweather had the total package. In the ring, I'm gonna talk just on in the ring. He was he was superb at thinking. He knew how to set somebody up. He knew how to download how the other fighter fought in a matter of minutes. He knew your temperament. He knew how to
Hmm.
be first. And plus his discipline. Like he never smoked or drank. It's rumored that he would run home from the club. Like he dedicated his entire life. A lot of the boxers, like the Foremans and the Mike Tysons, they didn't necessarily dedicate their entire life to boxing.
Mm,
Like their entire life. A lot like nah. They just everything he did in my
actually,
eyes, there's not much he did wrong in that ring.
I read this. Have you read Tyson's
I ain't even
um
seen no, I haven't read it.
autobiography? Yeah, talking about like flying pigeons and stuff when he grew up.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I like to read about people's struggle. I like to read about people's struggles, how they overcome them, what their mindset is, what they learn. Maybe this is why I like to ask people questions. Like it's something that I find really fascinating and stuff. So I'll look out for a Mayweather book or biography or something so I can take a deep dive.
Have you read From Bars to Bitcoin yet?
No, no, it hasn't I haven't ordered it. And when I order books, because I like to read the hard copy, I try to batch them because of all of the import fees when they get delivered to Switzerland. So,
That's another thing. I don't, this Amazon works in Switzerland.
yep. But there's
Okay.
no Amazon.ch. .ch is the extension for Swiss websites. So I have to order on Amazon.de, which is Germany, or Amazon.fr. And the fees are slightly lower, but if there's no seller based in Germany or somewhere within Europe that carries your book or whatever, it has to come from the US. And so a book that's like, I don't know, I want to say 20 Swiss francs, so about $20, can end up costing like 35 or 50 or whatever. So I have to like calculate things carefully. And then there's a bookstore that I really like. I'm pointing like you know where the bookstore
Yeah.
is, but and I remember I can't remember what book it was, but on Amazon it was listed at I don't know, maybe $40 and it couldn't get delivered here, so I had to go to the bookstore and order it, and they charged me like $70 or something. So books are
Holy
like,
shit. Oh,
yeah.
damn. All right. I don't know if I can ever get invited to a Bitcoin conference in Europe by some people. I'll bring some books with me and just try to drop them off on the continent.
Yeah, ship it locally.
You know, because, damn. I did not know all that went into it.
My husband has a Kindle. He downloads stuff, which is cheap. But I like
Okay.
books. I like to touch things. I like to take my time with things. So,
I got you.
this is the second last question.
Okay.
Did I ask this already? So, no, we talked about it though. So, what is it actually like spending time behind bars in prison? What do you do?
Well, you can do multiple of things. Me personally, my first year, I tried to sleep off. I went to bed early, woke up like around 12. That didn't work. There's an option to go get your GED. You can go learn, like in North Carolina, you can get your GED. When I was in prison, you take like certain like skills classes, like plumbing or brick masonry or something like that. Um, Again, I worked out a lot, played basketball. The main thing I really remember doing was just learning how to box in prison. And you can also do nothing. You can be nothing. You can
Mm.
be a tyrant. You could be whomever you want to be. Um, you just can't be free. You can't be
Yeah.
free. You can be whoever you want to be, but you're not leaving until it's time to go. But it's all up to you. It's like when I had gone to Norway, I really I learned how their prison system is set up, or lack thereof, because they don't really have a lot of crime, but they provide a lot of information, so you can be better when you leave. In America, it's like shit, whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because this is how America was built, like slavery, free labor in prison. You get very cheap labor. You can have a job like cleaning the side of the highway. You can make license plates, make clothes in certain states. Like a lot of the state's labor that it might be needed by the state will be done out of people in prison.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it just keeps up the American dream of getting cheap ass labor, getting great quality out of a cheap cost.
I saw that. I was in Florida and we drove, I forgot the name of the last town before you drive to Key West. And on
Hmm.
the road, there were people wearing orange jumpsuits. So I'm guessing they were prisoners and they were working. And I was like, I mean, this was a while ago, but at the time I was like, that's kind of convenient.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And
Hmm.
it's like if I need to do something as profitably as possible, I'm going to look for cheaper free labor. Therefore, the incentive structure is such that, oh, look at you. You know what I mean? I caught you with your hand in the cookie jar. Come, like let's get some labor out of you.
So the thing in America is like I think one in every three people have been arrested or in jail.
Wow.
That was another crazy stat. I forgot. But cheap labor is what it is. Oh yeah, so the 14th Amendment, when the slavery was abolished in America, it was ratified with the 14th Amendment by saying slavery is abolished, it's illegal. However, if you commit a crime, now we're able to do the same damn thing, which is
Mm.
put you in a slavery situation so we can get cheap labor out of you. Which is another reason why, I don't know if you follow this or not. Like, I don't really follow it much, but I do hear it. The whole border war or having people come from like different parts of Latin America or whatever to America is because some of those people, like especially in the great state of Texas, they're gonna have somebody. They're gonna use the same damn model they did that built America. Oh, you over here? What are you doing? You got any place to stay? No, you got somewhere to work? No, come work for me then. You can stay in our pool house. We just need a house clean. We need this. We need all of that. We go down there, pick some people up. Come build this up for us. You know what I'm saying? America is facing some terrible economic times. So hell, How else you gonna build a country? You got people willing to climb over the border, and they're just gonna keep doing the same damn process. Cheap, free to cheap labor out of somebody who needs it. The problem is the Africans who were bought over here during slavery. We weren't trying to get over this motherfucker. People nowadays are trying to get here, and they're willing to pay whatever the premium is to be here. Black Americans have just gotten to the point like, man, we don't feel like working so much no more. And I think some people in the world might view us as crazy, but when you live here, and yes, there are amazing opportunities that I had to see for myself as coming out of prison. Like, man, I'm not about to sit around and sulk and hope I'm giving a handout in the country. I know they don't get no damn handouts to the citizens, especially ones with records. So this is why Bitcoin was the only option I thought for me. It was like, yo, shit, I can buy this, hold this, do what I want. People would say, oh, you can't buy anything with Bitcoin, man. I don't need them to buy it. I'll just, as long as your country's currency will accept the exchange, shit, we can go.
Yeah.
Like that's how it is for me. I'm not the corporate millionaire who got tired of their job and just cashed their pension in and bought Bitcoin and just let it ride. That's not my scenario.
Yeah.
I've had to have Bitcoin, bought Bitcoin around $626. I've had to sell Bitcoin to get a car out of repossession, sell Bitcoin for bills, groceries. I just allowed the money to grow. You know what I mean? So everybody doesn't have the same Bitcoin story or scenarios.
No.
Like, I don't give a damn about hodling till I die. I'm going to enjoy some of it now. Again, we're not going to go stupid. I do understand that now. Like, we're not going stupid, but, like, I'm not here to play. Bitcoin gives you the right to play any game you want now. You can play the game you want. And if I want to hodl my Bitcoin to buy some land outright, to then build a house outright, and everything's paid for, shit, that's what the hell we gonna do. I'm still gonna have some sats left over. Don't ever believe that. We're gonna find a way to have some damn sats, but I gotta create a life I like in this world. Shit, we're gonna play by my rules now. And Bitcoin gives you the opportunity to play by your rules. You know what I mean?
You
Your
are
rules.
so real. Your experience is like, yeah. I mean, no one is going to change your mind because your experience is so strong that that's just the way it is. You're not I'm not worried or concerned about you whatsoever. Like you are. Okay, last question. Are you ready?
Yeah.
What is proof of work to you?
Thank you.
Save the best for last, right? You said you wanted this question.
Yeah. Proof of work is when you can prove to me that you made a damn impact of what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I don't mean for this to sting, because I have a podcast too. But I
Yeah.
ain't talking about people who like and download your shit. Like our co-founder, Dr. Stacy Boyle, she created this model called the Impact Blueprint. And that's how we use to show, what we've done with what we're, how the impact we're making. And, it shows like, hey, people are interested. We're funneling them here,
Mm-hmm.
But people in Bitcoin love to talk about proof of work, but they don't really show no damn results.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, we've gone and talked to these people. What the fuck? Okay, you talked.
Yeah.
Bitcoin protocol is proof of work. Bitcoiners be proof of talk, proof of podcast, proof of fucking social media content. Like, we don't really know what the hell your shit doing outside of this. Or like, not even, and I'm not talking about you, I'm talking about anybody. We don't know what the fuck that shit is doing. All we know is a company can give you money. You can go out there and talk your ass off. That's it. That's it. Like, we don't really know what it is you got going on. Like, how do we know? How do we know what people you've impacted by how many conferences you talked at? Who are you educating? Because I've been to a lot of Bitcoin conferences. I've seen the same faces from Miami to Vegas to goddamn Charlotte to Oslo to Africa. I've seen the same faces at damn near every conference. So who the hell is really learning something new? Who y'all really talking to? How do we know that what you're doing is providing something? You got content for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But like, for the human Bitcoiners, what is really your proof of work? I don't give a damn how many pictures you could take at a goddamn conference. I don't care how many pictures you could take. Oh, look who I met. Look who I interviewed. What does that mean?
Yeah.
What does that mean to the person? What does that mean to people in very impoverished conditions? How are we noticing? Like, how do we know? Because this is Bitcoin, and we operate from open source protocols.
Yeah.
And Bitcoin people love to say Bitcoin don't care. No, the protocol don't care, but humans fucking care. Humans care, and humans often try to emulate technology. Like multitasking. Multitasking wasn't made for humans. Multitasking is made for computers.
It was made for mothers.
Huh?
It was
So,
made for mothers.
all right, we go. I don't argue no mother. I don't argue no mother.
No,
We go
yeah.
do
But
that. But
I hear what you're saying.
like we're having this great conference, bro. Who the fuck cares? Like, really,
Yeah.
like it's not like we haven't. Like, who is coming here? Oh, I remember you. I saw you at Unconfiscatable in 2022. Oh, I saw you at Bitcoin 2000. Oh, I saw you in Washington D.C. You see the same damn faces talking about the same damn topics. When does shit actually, like, what is the real proof of what you're doing? Not
Yeah.
of where you've been, not of where you talk to, not of who you've interviewed, not of your content. Where's the proof? And even furthermore, where's the proof that what you're doing is actually working? Now, I understand it
Yeah.
takes time to work. Like
It
with our
does.
project,
Yep.
it took us some time to get the nonprofit. We're going inside of prisons. We have to build out the model. I get
Mm-hmm.
all of that. I get that. But are you staying on the path of building that, or are you just talking shit, get some money, you get some money, you tell people it fails, you go to something else, you talk that up, go get some more money, and it's like, yo, you have a string of shit not being completed. Nobody can say, nobody can say that you are doing what you say. At the very least, are you doing what you say you're doing?
Yeah.
And then on top of that, what the fuck are you actually doing?
Mm-hmm.
Like we said earlier, how Bitcoin solves this. Bitcoin solves this. Bitcoin is just some fucking data on a computer. Whether we ever use Bitcoin from '09 up until now, that motherfucker will still be gone. Like, it's like a
Yeah.
gun. Guns are only dangerous when you point them at somebody. When you ammunition, a person, you pull the trigger. A gun on the table is not dangerous. So
Yeah.
Bitcoin just don't solve shit. But well, Bitcoin solves this. Well, go solve it. Go solve it. Go solve it.
It
Goddamn
is, yeah, it's a tool. And with any tool, it has to be used in order to solve problems. And for example, I've been speaking to my family. My dad gets Bitcoin. My in-laws, my husband is French. They are French speaking. They're from France. They have a different perspective. And it takes a lot of time. But randomly, a few months ago, my mother-in-law sent me a text message saying, I was in the south of France on vacation and I saw a store that accepts Bitcoin. She thought of me. She texted me after I don't know how many years of thinking
Yeah.
like, I gave up with her specifically at one point because I'm like, it's not worth the chaos in the family or whatever. Like, just
Well, all
don't
that
say
time you put
anything.
in, all that time you put in trying to orange pill people, you can use that same damn engine to go get some sets. Like, that's just what it is.
Yeah. But I
Use that
mean,
same engine.
I get sats too. And for me personally, the ultimate is to be able to talk about Bitcoin, get paid sats for talking about Bitcoin and engaging. I'm not even going to lie or be, anything
Mhm.
but what it is, you know.
Yeah.
So like I can't answer your question broadly, but I can sort of speculate broadly, but for me, you know, personally. And I mean, here in Geneva, for the past year, I've been organizing the Bitcoin meetups every month, getting speakers to come, new people come, you know, you speak to them about Bitcoin. There is talk about other coins as well. So I always say, you know, this is why I'm Bitcoin only. I cannot speak about those other coins. If you get scammed, if you lose your money, that is, you know what I'm saying? But there's a
Yeah,
real
no,
danger. But if someone
that's
is
the power of
passionate,
decentralization.
sorry, say that again.
That's the power of decentralization. You are left up to your own vices, sir and
Hmm.
ma'am. This is just one thing I learned in prison. This man said, if you have valuable information that you
Hmm.
feel could help change people, the worst disservice you could do is never share that information. Now,
Yeah.
if you share the information and people make their decision to go left, or they know you've done all you could
Yeah.
do. And
Yeah.
so,
But still, when you're speaking to someone face to face, and it's part of my personality as well. I feel a sense of like, yeah, I feel a sense of responsibility because they ask me something, so I emphasize certain things. And then the other thing too, one of the, so it took me a few years to feel comfortable speaking openly about Bitcoin because I second guess myself a lot. I need to know for sure that what I'm saying, like, I need to know that my argumentation is sound. And so sometimes I would question things, I wouldn't really say much. But at one point here, I went through a phase before I got married and before I became a mother where people would approach me and make certain assumptions about me.
mhm.
And I won't go into detail about what those assumptions are, but they didn't at all reflect who I am as an individual. I'm a nerd. I'm a geek. Like, I like sports. For me, I go to my judo lessons, you know, once a week. I like to spend time doing activities and learning and stuff as opposed to like going to clubs. I will go, I
Mhm.
like to dance, but it's just not who I am.
Right.
And for some reason, I was projecting a different image. And so I got to a point where I thought to myself, like, this has to do with money and power. This has nothing to do with me as an individual. I am not like the person isn't speaking to me, they're just speaking to what I represent to them. And
Mhm.
so when I started to dig and dig and dig, I was like, you know what? I'm going to talk about Bitcoin all day, every day, so that if one person plus another person gets interested and they want to actually learn more and then start stacking stats and then fall down the rabbit hole and start seeing the world differently, then I'm not going to have to put up, or my daughter, more importantly, will not have to put up with these same stereotypes based on, you know, the fact that she's a woman and she's like, yeah. So I
Yeah.
mean, like the motivation is slightly different. But with the meetups, like I enjoyed planning it and stuff, but you're dealing with a lot of humans. It's volunteer. There's a lot of complexities that happen. So, you know, yeah.
Yeah.
But I hear what you're saying about, you know, what you actually do and stuff.
Like, let me say this. So you gave us your intention.
Mm-hmm.
It was pure. You feel me? I don't mind it. You said, hey, I'm here, I talk, I want to get paid in sats to talk Bitcoin, orange pill people.
Yeah. That's the
That's
dream. Yeah.
that,
That is the dream.
that and you're doing that. This is the step to do that. I have no problem with that. What I just don't get is when people are saying they're doing more than they're actually doing.
Ah, that's yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, when people are just they're saying they're doing more than they're actually doing.
Mm-hmm.
And to me that runs very rampant in this space. You know, this is but it is what it is, you know, at the end of the day. Again, it's the wild, wild west, it's a decentralized space, and you're
Yeah.
free to be who you want to be. It's just when we talk about proof of work and people are saying they're gonna do things outside of what they're doing and they don't do it, it's just like
I haven't encountered that yet. Okay, so I don't want anyone to be called out, but can you give an example of like some kind of project that was supposed to happen? Because I mean, I, I'm,
It's
yeah.
I don't it's just been a lot. Uh, it's just been a lot. I don't want to say no names neither, not just yet, but it's just been a lot. It's been a lot, and I'll just say this: just always be on the lookout for people who are talking about doing things and they never get them done,
Yeah. Yeah,
and
yeah,
you
yeah.
start noticing a string of like undone shit. But
Hmm.
there's like capital to do some shit. And
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
it's just we're on to something new. And it's like, well, what happened to that other thing?
Yeah.
And with
That's not
capital,
just in Bitcoin. That is a totally other game realm that happens in a lot of different spaces. And yeah, I mean, money, currency sometimes needs to flow. And if it flows towards a Picasso painting or a Bitcoin project or whatever, that to me, like, I'm not going to say I hate art because people use paintings to do what they do. See what I mean?
mhm,
And so, yeah, that will always happen. It has happened before Bitcoin existed. It will always happen. And I tend not to look at stuff like that because it's not my
yeah,
thing, you know. It's
yeah, it's
fascinating, it's entertaining, but it's not my thing.
yeah, it just you just I just learned how to separate Bitcoin protocol, and like what real value is.
Yeah.
And when it comes to providing real value, it cannot be all about you.
Mhm.
So I had a realization around 2022 just about understanding, giving value,
Mhm.
understanding, missions and visions, or understanding, how to build a machine that lasts, not just
Yeah.
hustle. You know what I mean? Like bring value to other people with what you're doing.
Mhm.
And again, that could be setting up Bitcoin meetups. It's no problem. Whatever it is, if you're gonna do it, do what you're gonna say. If it's a legit reason as to why it cannot be done,
Yeah.
state that. But just don't drop off the face of the earth or just like cause hell. And it can be it's just been this is being in Bitcoin can be traumatizing. That's why it's good to that's why sometimes you gotta look at your cold storage walls and be like, this is the reason why. Let me go back, and just keep going, because you can go through a multitude of stuff in this space should you choose, that route. But like we said before, you don't have to be on Twitter.
Yeah.
You don't have to be on the internet. You can just work your
You
nine
just
to five
stack
job,
sats. Yep.
stack stats at home, and don't care
And
about
solve.
nothing of what's going
Yep.
on.
Yep.
So it's
Yep.
a choice to be here, and I understand it's a choice I made. That's something else I learned from boxing. You made the choice to get in the ring, so you're gonna have to live with what comes with being here.
Have
But
you read Ray Dalio's book? I think it's called Principles of Economics or whatever.
nah, but I might read it. I haven't read it.
You said a few things that summarize, like, I think he does like bullet points, like main points and stuff. And in one part of his book, he says like you are responsible for your own outcomes. If you want to be successful, you have to accept that you are responsible. Whatever the outcome is, you are responsible for it. You said that, and you said a few other things where I thought, oh, like maybe you read the book because it's so Yeah. Your inner
You
locus of control. You are the one who you see certain things, you decide, you make the decision to, I don't know. I know nothing about boxing lingo, so be patient with me. But you decide to, like, I don't know, go right or go left or jab or whatever. Like,
yeah,
you are always the person in the driver's seat who makes that choice and that decision.
yeah, no, yeah. So I haven't read Ray Dalio's book. I don't even follow him online to be honest, but I've heard the term inner locus of control that is you believe that it's inward then outward. Some people believe it's outward then inward. There are circumstances that's going to make me better or well, this has to fall into place. Like you just have to have the will, and
Hmm.
um if you don't have the will to do it, it ain't gonna get done. And then like I was saying earlier, it is your responsibility. Like it's no one else's fault that you cannot think outside the box. It's no one else's fault that you couldn't do the research to the problem. Like I was saying about my mom. Like I didn't have to do what I did. I didn't have to do what I did. I just did not think or did not know how to think outside the scenario. So that's how the scenario took place. But that's no fault to my mother. That's no fault to nobody that I grew up with. It's nobody's fault that you don't go seek counseling or therapy.
Yeah.
There's no
Yep.
one like
Ah, my eyes twitching.
there's
Yep.
there's nothing there that's like it's going to be on you at the end of the day. It's going to be on you. You're going to have to do it. Now there could be help. You know, there's people who's going through some very traumatizing stuff that they did not ask to have happen to them, and that's a whole different conversation. But the healing process of some things that happen to people will have to be on the person. You might not be the blame for some things, but you will be responsible
Hmm.
for the outcome or changing it.
That is. And I mean, if someone somewhere listens to this part of our conversation and that seed is planted in their head, to me personally, that's very helpful because you have grown people out here who cannot accept responsibility or accept the fact that shit happens in life and you have to push through. And so, like, and this is where I'm kind of cheesy as well. Like, I think that that's a message for someone who
Mm-hmm.
will pick up on it, who will say, they'll either cuss because they don't believe it and they think we're talking shit, or they'll say, I heard that somewhere else before, maybe I need to pay attention. Or it'll like pass by them and then they'll hear it somewhere else and be like, oh yeah, this is the second or third time I'm hearing that. So yeah, but that's just
Yeah,
like
no, that's how life goes. Because the sad part about it is once you've been exposed to it, you can never say I did not know. And so
exactly.
that's the purpose of orange peeling. Once we tell you, you can't say you didn't know no more now. I
Yep.
never heard this. Nah, Sadea. That's how you say her name, right?
Saida, or Sai for
Saida.
short. Yeah.
Saida invited you to the meetup. You just didn't go.
Hmm.
You feel me? Or I tried to tell you it's $600. You waited till 60,000. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Just do it. If we told you it's $700, you play games all the way to 73,000. Everything you named as to why you couldn't just buy some sets was a whole excuse. From
Mm.
$700 to $73,000.
Do you
And
ever
now,
say I told you so, or do you just like,
not no more. Not no more. It's not worth it. It almost comes across as it's just doing too much. It's
yeah.
not worth it. It ain't worth it. I used to be that guy, but it got you get no value. You get no
Hmm.
value from always just I was right. I told you I was right. Like that doesn't even help the other person because
Hmm.
then they're gonna be like, this, he just want to talk about how he was right the whole time. The proof is in the numbers now. Like I came home from prison. I've dated girls, have a fiance now, and I told them about Bitcoin then. And all right, shit, we here $70,000. I don't have to do no talking. The numbers are gonna speak for itself. Because when you speak on things that can be proven, you didn't have to leave people with their own realm of wow, and you just look at them, you say, it's not over though. You know, you got plenty of time. You don't have plenty of time, but you get paid, right? Yeah, I got a job. All right. That's cool. Have you ever experienced, I don't know, say a 2x or 3x of your investments? No, or I don't even know what that is. All right, well, shit. Just start small, you know, because
Hmm.
that's just where you're gonna be. You're gonna have to go that route, you know. So no, I don't never sit back and tell people I told you so.
That's very big of you. Well, we're gonna wrap up. It's been 1 hour and 20 minutes, just about.
That's way over 10 minutes.
It's way over 10 minutes, and I'm probably not going to edit out much of this, but I'll send you a link so that you can view it and just make sure you're cool with everything. But before we wrap up completely, can you tell people where they can find you on social media or in real life or wherever you want people to find you?
Well, social media on X is Bitcoin underscore vegan. LinkedIn is Justin Rhedrick. You can check out our website of our nonprofit. Well, our nonprofit is on there too, Bitcoin Transformation Community, BTC TC One Sat. Please follow that. Please tag that and everything, because sometimes people only
Oh,
tag
yeah, okay.
Bitcoin. But please tag the nonprofit,
Okay.
Bitcoin Transformation Community, or BTC TC One Sat. You can check out our website, btctc.org. And if you feel so inclined to donate some sats or some of that good old fiat to our mission, you can as well. We're currently on the hunt for volunteers who want to be a part of this mission that we're doing. We do not have, how do I say this? The work you will be doing will be very transformative to yourself and others. We
Yeah.
will not drag you because we're currently getting funding, but the amount of work you do would be paid and look to be paid for very handsomely as we move forward. But if you're looking to make a great impact in ways that the world never saw coming, and you're willing to, just put some skin in the game with us, we're here for you, and we'll make something happen. But BTCTC1 sat on Twitter, btctc.org, Justin Rhedrick on LinkedIn, and Bitcoin Vegan on X. That's
And
crazy.
on X, and where can people order your book? Outside of the US, okay, Mr.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's only on Amazon. You can reach out to me and see if we can. We got to work something out. We got to work something out for it to be mailed, because well, if you're going to be at the African Bitcoin Conference in 2024 this year, I'm gonna do my best to be there, and I'm bringing some books with me. So
There you go. Yeah.
if you're going to be there outside the U.S., because it seems like that's one of the best ways for me to get books to other people in the world, then I'll do that too.
Yep.
If I'm
Very
ever at a
nice.
conference outside the U.S., I know to bring books. If I'm in a conference in the U.S., I'm not hauling no books.
Yeah.
So there we go.
All right. Well, thank you very much. And yeah, thank you.
No problem. Thank you. Thank you for having me.